Michael Huffman, head football coach and physical education teacher from Bellevue West High School in Bellevue, Nebraska, coming to you after taking Teacher Toolbox 101 and getting fantastic ideas to keep me on top of my game. And I got to be honest, so appreciative of you guys giving these opportunities, and I seem to be taking the classes at the perfect time. They get me energized, they get me positive again, going into the doldrums of the summer, and we got to be sharp in the fall, so I sure appreciate it. A couple things that I really got out of Teacher Toolbox 101 that I'm bringing to the table, as I've been taking the class this spring and early summer, and that first one, okay, is I need to catch my coaches and my kids doing it right. I do this once in a while, but not enough. And it makes no sense because when I do it, I see the kids get the Superman chest. I see them get a little bounce in their step, a nod in their head. I even see the old man coaches, they get a little sheepish grin. Because even though we're old, we like for people to see we're doing things right. And I got to do a better job of doing that more consistently. The next thing, I got to bring Coach Huffy back. Okay, I need to be more positive. We've had a rough offseason. In 19 years, a lot of firsts. Got my first kid involved in gang situation, and regardless of what you read in the paper and hear on radio, man, until you're living it, it is much harder to deal with than you think. There's so many layers to it that you never thought of before. I had a kid, a different kid, had a mother that was incarcerated for 9 years. She gets out. She fights for custody of the boy who was in a stable home with his aunt and uncle. It got ugly, and sure enough, that kid went downhill. Then I've got a stud running back, unfortunately a special education student, struggling academically and at risk of not being academically eligible for the NCAA, and doggone it, he's a Division I scholarship type guy. Thankfully, all three of these guys are on the road to greatness again. So there's things are going well, but I got to bring positive back, man. Those things mentally exhausted me this winter and spring, and I just wasn't the same, man. We've got to get back to cranking the tunes, high-fiving, hip-bumping, chasing greatness for our run to the 2016 state championship. And, man, these classes, it's like perfect timing to get me jacked up and jazzed again. I need to do a better job of being appreciative. Attitude of gratitude is what we keep hearing in the different lessons. I've got a great staff that are great with kids, that are good family men. They treat our players like their own kids. I got to be more thankful. I need to let them know that I see it. I need to let them know that I care about what they're doing, their families. I got to let our kids know that they're not just puzzle pieces. It's hard. You work so hard to get successful, and then you get there and you want to stay there. You have to remember you're dealing with human beings, and I need to be more appreciative, more thankful to them, and make sure that our player or my coaches are reaching out to their players as well, in their individual position groups. And then finally, it's not nothing new, but it's something that we got to continually work on, is building relationships. I used to go back and see my high school coach, and every year he told me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're not a family man, you can't do it. You miss all your kids growing up. And finally he figured out that I was going to do it. And he said, well, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You got to make the average players play good, and then the good players play great. And the only way to do that is to build relationships with them. We are fantastic X's and O's teachers. Our scheme is pretty sound and has had great success. We've led the state in offense 3 years in a row. But it's not the X's and O's. It's the Jimmies and the Joes. And we need to love on those Jimmies and Joes so they can excel in the X's and O's. And then Friday Night Lights kind of take care of themselves. But I need to do it with more than just my quarterback. I need to do it more with just my defensive coordinator. I need to do it with everybody so they're so appreciative. State 7-on-7, I send a text to our new DC who's got a rap for being a hothead. And I said, Wade, I was so proud of the passion and the compassion that you coached with during the tournament. You're going to do a great job for us. And he was touched. I need to do more of that and cast a wider